This week at NASA.
You're clear back to 30 degrees bank. And
NASA's Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy, or SOFIA aircraft, took to the skies above California's Mojave Desert on its first flight since January 2008. The modified 747, carrying a German-built telescope for infrared astronomy research, flew about 4.5 hours during a functional check flight in restricted airspace near Edwards Air Force Base and the Dryden Flight Research Center. The flight evaluated the aircraft's performance, handling characteristics, and flight systems at altitudes up to 35,000 feet, and included a checkout of aircraft systems including engine, flight controls, and communication. 2 additional flights are scheduled for later in the month to evaluate the doors covering the observatory's telescope cavity. SOFIA will first fly with 10% of its telescope's cavity door open, and then later with 100% of the telescope revealed.
3, 2, 1.
How do you make a helicopter safer? Well, you crash it. Researchers at the Langley Research Center recently dropped an old helicopter from a height of 35 feet to see whether an expandable honeycomb cushion attached to its belly could ease the destructive force of a crash. NASA aerospace engineer Karen Jackson oversaw the test.
One of the concepts is to look at exterior deployed systems like either airbags or this concept that we tested today as a way of providing energy attenuation without adding a lot of weight.
The test conditions imitated what would be a relatively severe helicopter crash. On impact, the helicopter's skids bent outward, but the cushion, called a deployable energy absorber, kept the rotorcraft's bottom from touching the ground. 4 crash test dummies along for the ride appeared only a little worse for wear. Researchers must analyze the test results before they can be sure the deployable energy absorber worked as designed.
It's an honor for me to be here.
That was NASA Administrator Charles Bolden as guest speaker at a luncheon with members of Women in Aerospace. WIA is an organization dedicated to expanding women's opportunities for leadership, increasing their visibility in the aerospace community, and facilitating discussion of issues important to women.
In the area of science, technology, and aerospace, we also have more diversity at top levels than in the past. A few examples, of course. At NASA, I'm proud to have Lori Garver as my deputy administrator.
WIA organizes numerous events featuring speakers from government, industry, education, and the scientific community. The Marshall Space Flight Center officially ushered in its holiday season with a special tree lighting ceremony. Dozens of team members braved chilly temperatures outside Building 4200 to watch Center Director Robert Lightfoot flip the switch for the annual event. The crowd, which included children from Marshall's Child Development Center, sang carols, enjoyed hot cocoa and sweets, and rubbed elbows with St. Nick himself. And that's This Week at NASA. Happy holidays! For more on these and other stories, log on to www.nasa.gov.